Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome to more Battlefield. But wait, you're not in Battlefield 3. What is this? Well, this is some old school Battlefield 1943 on the PS3. That's right, PS3 Elite. Before the PS3, it's obsolete and nobody uses it anymore. Everybody's going to go to the Xbox One, everybody's going to go to the PS4. Time for us to go back in and just have a little bit more fun and remember how it used to be back in the old days. Now, for those of you that have been subscribed to my channel for quite a while, you know I've got older Battlefield games and I'm a 13-year-old Battlefield veteran, and I still play all the Battlefield games. I mean, I still have the original box from the first ever Battlefield game, which technically is not Battlefield 1942 because DICE and Refraction Games and all that sort of stuff, they made another game called Codename Eagle back in '99, and it was technically a Battlefield game. There was tanks, there was pretty much everything you know in Battlefield today. That was kind of what it had back in Codename Eagle. Now, I still have the original box of Codename Eagle, and that's, for me, it's a prized possession. You know, it's something that you wouldn't sell. It's something that you keep dear at heart because it's just one of them things that are really, really cool. And that's how sort of Battlefield started for me. I mean, obviously in 2002, 1942 came out, and then the rest of it is history. A lot of Battlefield games come out. But for me personally, I still go back to old Battlefield games. I still enjoy it, and I still think, look how beautiful everything looks, look how cool everything looks, look how this mechanic works, look how this works. I mean, look at the destruction is absolutely amazing. And you gotta remember that Battlefield 1943 came out in, I think it was June or July of 2009 for the PS3 and the Xbox. So you gotta remember that this game is 4 years old, is nearly 5 years old. It is absolutely amazing how cool this game was back in the day, and it's still cool today. I still enjoy it, and I'm surprised. Well, I shouldn't say surprised. I'm not surprised, or should I say I'm pleasantly surprised that there's still a good following on the PS3 and people still play and people still enjoy it. And it's just one of them games. There's nothing really not making you go back to it. There's pretty much everything you need in there. There's guns, there's sniper rifles, there's engineers, there's RPGs, there's actually, there is no mines. The tanks are really shit and slow. The vehicles are really shit and slow. I mean, if you go up a little hill and you stop the car, you wouldn't be able to get up that hill. It's just the traction. The 4x4 traction back in those days, it's kind of bad, but still, you don't really have to run that much. You don't have to really get into a vehicle that much because the maps are slightly smaller and you don't really have to run anywhere that far anyway, so you could just simply just get from A to B wherever you go in, and that's pretty much it. 1943 for me was definitely one of them cool games, and look at that. I was trying some Levolution there in 1943. That kind of didn't work. I mean, I got a little hit on him, but I just didn't get him. Now, one of the cool things back in 1943, that not only that you could play, well, the regular Conquest, there was no Rash in 1943 on the Xbox or the PS3, but you could play Conquest on, I think there was 4 or 5 different maps, and then you had Coral Sea, where you can play just Air Superiority. If you wanted to play that, you could just play that alone. It was only one map, but still, it was something. So for this to come back, you know what I mean, for this to go back 4 or 5 years, and you can play all the game modes and just enjoy it, it was pretty fun, and I always enjoy going back to Battlefield games. And that brings me to my question to you guys. What is the most game that you still go back to and play? Now, for those of you that have a couple of more Battlefield games, what is the most missed game that you go back to and play from time to time? Do you go back to 1943? Do you go back to Battlefield 2? Do you go back to play for free, Battlefield 3? Which one? 1942? I mean, I tried playing 1942 the other week, and I just could not get a game together. There was like 3 dudes playing it, and that was pretty much it. There was just nobody on it, and trust me, I've tried at different times of the day, and I just could not get a game in there whatsoever. So that's kind of completely dead. And what is your favorite Battlefield? That includes the DLCs. What is your favorite Battlefield? You can just say, my favorite Battlefield would be Battlefield Bad Company 2 DLC, Vietnam DLC. That will include that as well, just because it gives you a little bit more option, and you're not restricted to just saying, yes, Bad Company 2 has to be my favorite. You can also say one of the DLCs. Now, getting back into the game a little bit, one of the reasons I always hang around here, because if I remember it correctly, it was always about the air raid. Always try and hold down the airfield. The airfield was crucial, that you have it, that nobody can drop out the bombs on top of you, because that can decimate your team. They can take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 dudes out if you're all bunched up together, and the enemy team can just move in, take the flags, and just push you back. And in 1943, yes, you can shoot somebody in the base. You can't really get inside. Actually, you can get inside because you can land on the carrier, and there is no out of bounds area or anything like that, but you'd get no points. You'd actually get 0 points for shooting somebody in its own base. So it's kind of pointless going all the way to the enemy base and shooting somebody in the face as they spawn in. And that's one of the deterrents that DICE have tried to do. Like, look, don't go in there because you're not going to get any points. You'll get a couple of kills, but they don't actually count, and you'll get nothing for it. Now, even though that you can get inside the enemy base, I must say that on the PS3, I don't think I've seen more than 2 or 3 base rapes. You know, when you'd go in, you had a really good team, everybody worked together and just push them as quick as you can, push them back to the carrier, and that's pretty much it. Nobody comes out. I have not personally seen any of that going on, apart from 1 or 2 matches I joined later on, and it was like 8 versus 2 or something like that, because the matchmaking kind of fails since it's not been updated in quite a long time. I mean, you still get a message that Battlefield 3 just came out in the US when you log into 1943. So I think that needs a bit of an update right there. But the one cool thing about Battlefield 1943, check this Wookiee out. Look at that camel, man. Look at that leaf on him. Like, what's that gonna blend him in? You know what I mean? Nothing, but it was fun as shit. I really, really miss the old Battlefield games, how silly everything was, and there was nothing really that you took too serious. It was just about fun, and it's just what gaming used to be back in the old days. And there is no better example to give you than my friend Bosnian. Well, Bosnian, for those of you that have been subscribed again to my channel for quite a while, you remember this little story. Me and Bosnian started playing 1943. He got into a jet, into a plane, and he got shot down. He jumped out before he got killed, and he landed in the sea at some point. And, you know, talking on the PS3 mics and said, well, I'm in the sea, I'm going to swim. All right, I'll meet you on the side, I'll pick you up or something. And he swam for like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and as soon as he got to the edge, some dude just waited there and just blasted him in the face. And Bosnian just said, fuck this shit, and he just quit. Oh man, that's the thing that I really miss about the old Battlefield games. You know, how fun, how silly everything was, and it was just about fun. You know, it was just about some dude just waiting on the beach. You know, he saw him swimming, he could have just shot him in the water, but he just waited for him to swim all the way to the shore and just popped him. Every time I play 1943, I just cannot stop thinking of Bosnian doing all that swimming. Oh man, I really enjoy the old Battlefield games. Well, quick little update for you guys just before the end of the video. For those of you that enjoy GTA, I do have another episode of my GTA series with some funky stuff happening online. A lot of people tried to kill me and they failed miserably. And some funny fails in there, some stunts and some other stuff. And I've got some DayZ. I'm currently working on getting another DayZ video recorded for you guys as well. Hopefully trying some new breaking point in Arma 3. As soon as I get a squad going together, I'll update on that and I'll get it posted. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the next one. Out.